and take the bolos and go out. Because I always think I remember when I was in elementary school, we had this amazing video about Argentina movie, and there were bolos, and I was fascinated. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and they were talking about life. How is it there?
No, I think like a regular kid, again, like lower to mid class family. I went to school. For sure, we play a lot of soccer. Soccer is like you have nothing to do, and you have a place where you can play with friends, and you play soccer. Since 4 years old through high school. So all the time, like 1 or 2 days a day. So yeah, playing soccer a lot. But it's like I was born in Mar del Plata, that is about like 200 miles south of Buenos Aires. It's by the ocean, so around like 500,000 people on that city.
Wow.
So I think it's similar to Santa Cruz here. I live in the Bay Area now, so similar to Santa Cruz. Have that vibe, of hippie style. So I think that is Mar del Plata. So very similar to Santa Cruz, California. So
yeah, Santa Cruz is a unique. I got to tell you, it's a unique. People have a lot of fun there, we should say.
Oh yeah, yes.
Maybe too much fun, right? So, Guy
Yeah.
Kawasaki, if you're listening, enjoy your surfing. He's a big surfer. He told me he lives in Santa Cruz now, by the way.
Yeah. For some reason, I surf now, but I am a very bad surfer. So, but I'm trying still today. I like here Capitola. I like to go to Capitola, and but
So you're surfing, yeah?
Yeah, I'm surfing. I am pretty bad, but still I am trying.
Cesar, I got a question for you. Now I was out in the kayak, and they had three types of whales, and they had the great white sharks, right? They had within the same day. And I'm out in the kayak, and it was the first time in my life that I thought about the movie Jaws. And I'm out there and I'm thinking, I don't know how people like you go out there with a black wetsuit on and swim around with these critters that are like 20 feet long.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. So, I mean, is it water cold when you're out there? How is the water? Is it cold or is it
warm? In Argentina?
No, so you're going to Capitola.
Capitola. I don't know. Wetsuits today, they have an incredible technology. So it's and you have everything. You have even like you put like a little hat if it's very cold, but it's not. No, and you are moving inside the water, so I think it's okay. It's not that bad. So, but yeah, it's not warm for sure. It's not.
Now, how
like
about Argentina? What's it like down there? So
I think it's in the middle. It's something between Miami, Florida, and it's not that cold like here in the Pacific Ocean, but it's something in the middle. And sometimes, winter time in Argentina, you receive all the water from the south, and it's very cold. So maybe it's cooler, winter time, but it's not that bad either. So.
Wow, what made you decide to move?
I have a technical background. So again, I got my degree as a software engineer in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I really would like to have an experience of working outside of Argentina. And US, it was one of my top of the list. So a company in San Antonio, Texas, hired me in 2001. So I moved with my wife to San Antonio, Texas, 2001.
Oh, San Antonio's nice, but why not Austin?
Well,
San Antonio, I like the Riverwalk there. It's so beautiful. And then Papa Do's restaurant. I mean, it's just a beautiful place, right?
Yeah. And the brisket, well, I think the brisket in the whole Texas area, that slow cooking brisket is so awesome. But no, this company in particular, they have a headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, providing services, Dallas, Austin, and some, clients in Houston. So yeah, I was there. 2001 and 2002. And what I found is that, I was working all my a lot of focus on the software side. So are you there, Gary?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. So they have a focus on the software side. So when we have a new project, they were crazy about creating, a component diagram with, oh, here is the database, and here is, the front end component. And what I saw is that, hey, we are creating, a software for users, but we don't have a visual prototype or a visual representation of what the application it would look like. So I started, putting together a prototype, a click-through prototypes back in the early 2000s, and I found my passion, right there with that consulting company of mixing software engineer with user experience. So, and that is what today is making sense. We are a software development company service that we focus on user experience a lot. So I think that from that point, we are kind of unique.
No, that's great. And so you went from there, and you transitioned over. What did you wake up one day and say, "I'm going to move to San Francisco"? Or what happened?
Well, the transition, it was, in 2006, we have an opportunity, a need for a software project that we need a couple of developers. So I knew the capabilities of, software engineers in Argentina mainly. So I approached the owner of the company, the consulting company, and say, hey, I can, you have problem hiring people. I can put together a team in Argentina, the country that I know really well, and we can do this project remotely. That was in 2006. So that is how we started making sense. So part of the transition is that at the same time when we started the software company, it's a service company. Service companies, they don't have a great valuation. So the product company have a great valuation. So we have an innovation lab where we test new ideas that we have all the time. When we are working with clients, we have ideas, how we can create something unique, create our own IP. So in 2008, we create our first product, and we spin off that as a new company. So we did 5 of them. And one of them in particularly, in 2014, we were raising money for that product.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years later, we end up selling that product to a company here in the Bay Area. So, and I kind of say, well, if we would like to build more product, we need to be in Silicon Valley. So that's why, in 2017, we moved with my whole family, and we put the Making Sense headquarters here in Silicon Valley. So that is kind of like.
No, that's fantastic. And what about Doppler? Is Doppler the company that you spun off?
Yes. Doppler is a email marketing tool, very similar to MailChimp, but our market is in Latin America. It's one of the top 5 email marketing products in Latin America. So yeah, that is one of the companies that we spin off in many years ago.
Amazing. And what were some of the biggest challenges? Because you were working for the World Bank, right? And
Yes.
then you got involved in Y&L Consulting. But what were like some of the biggest challenges when coming over from Argentina over to the U.S.? What, besides language, what were some of the biggest challenges?
I think I was the only guy from Argentina, from Latin America, in that consulting company. So, it was really tough for me to kind of trying to, find my position. So, and that's when I decided that user experience and working with visual representation, it was a competitive advantage that I can take, and I can use that to stand out from my peers. So, and then so of course, like other regions, when you are presenting the company, you say, well, I have my engineering team in, Ukraine or, India. Back at that time, it was very popular. But when you say Argentina, I have my software engineers in Argentina. That was tough. I think that
I
right
mean,
now,
you'd be thinking about good piece of beef. That's what I'd be.
yeah. So what do you have? Do you have beef and yeah, you can make like a great barbecues, but I don't know in Argentina you have a software developer. So
Mhm.
it takes some time, and I think that right now is a well known that other regions also they can do software development. So like Mexico or Colombia or other
And
countries.
how much cheaper in general? I mean, I know the Ukraine and Russia because I lived there, but how much cheaper would it be compared
Well,
to Silicon Valley?
when like 15 years ago, yeah, it was like one third. Um, but right now it's catching up. And it's more like a global price. So because it's the same thing, if you are a software development, if you are good software development and you live in Argentina, Peru, Spain, or Italy, so I think we have like a global price today. And for example, yeah, it's cheaper than what you have to pay in San Francisco, in New York, but it's leveling up. So I think that today is more to having access to those resources, to that talent. So that is
Mhm.
the tricky piece today.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. And what about the talent level compared to Silicon Valley? I mean, when you're talking about, places like Palo Alto or Menlo Park, I mean, what's the level compared? Is it 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 5? What do you think?
Well, I think in Silicon Valley, you have a lot of 10 people. From 1 to 10, you can have, I don't know, 10% of all the software developers in the Silicon Valley area, they have a 10. In other regions, for example, in Latin America, you have maybe like just a few people. I think that the concentration of high quality in Silicon Valley is very, very high. But also you can find very, very smart people in other regions. India, you can find some very smart people. Ukraine, east of Europe, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico. But it's a
Mhm.
concentration thing. I think that is um, the, the trick.
And what kind of talent are you finding? So is there a lot of AI, unsupervised, semi-supervised kind of AI, or what is it? What's it like?
I think a little bit of everything. From software developers to we do a lot of work with user experience. So either if we don't find the talent, one thing that we are doing a lot today, and we have to do a lot more, is like training people. Making sure that we don't just hire people with the skills, but also we train people. We provide, we teach people, what to do or how become a software developer or a UX designer. And yeah, the AI also. We have a good universities with good, PhDs that can become, data science or working on AI. In other countries too, Colombia and Mexico also, they have a very good capabilities on the AI side.
So let's talk about. So we talk about the digital transformation. What do you see? How's it really impacted? From a technology perspective, and what's it look like over the next 3 years?
um, so I think that we don't realize, but we are in a transformation, in an extinction mode. If you compare like 20 years ago, 50% of the companies that were part of the Fortune 500, they are not anymore companies. You
Mhm.
have Sears, you have Blockbuster, Toys R Us. And all those companies have been replaced with Uber, Airbnb, Netflix. And the list go on and on. Tesla. So I think that today, I remember one report from IDC is that the investment between 2019 to 2025 it will be $7 trillion. With the pandemic, there is an update of that report that investment of $7 trillion it will happen. It will be done in 2022. So half of the time, $7 trillion investment in digital transformation. So, and we'll see the need for technology, from services, service company that they need to have a virtual component or a technology component to be able to provide other services, through the DMV department that right now you cannot go in person to do, or a couple of months ago you are not allowed to go in person to do some of the things that you usually do and go to the DMV. So yeah, we have a huge transformation. We have this is very interesting. We have a client that they were providing legal services, arbitration, mediation, and dispositions. So on those legal services, usually you have to be in a building in person. So with COVID, they were not allowed to do those provide those services. So so we help them to build the whole technology piece to provide those services virtually. So from scheduling to video calls to provide also the transcript. So we combine, and we converted from in-person to telehealth or video conference, all that system. And before COVID, they were only providing services in New York, and right now they can provide those services nationwide. So, and the possibility of scaling is massive. So, and that is with the use of technology. That is happening, everywhere.
Yeah, no, you're right. And, the world has fundamentally changed over the last 2 years. I mean, think about it. 3 years ago, McKinsey said that 93% of the companies were going to go through the digital transformation in the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the changes that took place. Look at Zoom, 300 plus million daily users of Zoom, because there was no other option. If you can't get in front of somebody, but on the other side of our planet healed itself, right? The first time from India, you've been able to say the Himalaya mountains. So we've gone through, and we've also learned a lot. I believe we've become a more compassionate, and we've had to, because we see people dying around us. We see changes taking place and fear. But the good news is the resilience of humanity. We come back. Well, I mean, it opens up another set of issues, remote workforce management. Now that people are spread out, they don't necessarily want to go back in the office, right? They like being home, and they're working, and they are efficient. But it's going to change the dynamics, corporate realty. What's going to happen with all these buildings that they've purchased? So we're in a transformational mode. You're right about it, but it's happening very quickly, and it's very cool because it's really democratizing opportunities for each and every one of us. So it doesn't matter where you are; it matters how good you are and the kind of connections that you have. And at the same time, trust is very important, because now, compared to before, you can't really get in front of somebody and sit at their desk. So they got to believe what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you better go out. So startups, if you're listening out there, make sure that you have a lot of information about your company and yourself on the internet, because as soon as somebody calls up on a Zoom, they're going to go out and Google your name. You got to make sure there's something there. So check your sites and make sure you're not posting things on social media that you wouldn't want people to see, because we are in a very connected world, and it's the digital transformations upon us. So what's your prediction for the next 3 years? What do you see happening during this time, Cesar, in terms of the digital transformation?
Well, I think it will be go on, the same thing for the next 5 to 10 years. But in the next 3 years, I will see more investment in digital transformation. And one of the biggest challenge is the having access to talent, having access to software developers, to AI, engineers, data science. So there is not enough people. There is not people qualified today to work on software projects. So that is a big challenge. So that's why I think that it's our responsibility as as a company that provides software services to provide training to help all of people to earn their salaries providing software development. So I think it will have an incredible amount of need and a huge opportunity also for like you are saying. I like the idea that with an internet connection and a computer today, you can be providing software development services in any part of the world. So that is incredible. It's incredible. So
Well, and it's nice we don't have to get on planes as much too. I don't know about you, Cesar, but it's really nice that people are accepting and we don't have to travel. Yesterday I did a conference in Prague and we had 60,000 online viewers. And I didn't have to, I stayed in my studio and broadcast. And I got to tell you, it was really nice. It was
yeah.
really, really nice.
Yeah. So, but in some way, we are also missing the way to be, in contact with people, and I believe that it will be a hybrid approach, so we can take the best of the both sides, right? So,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the blended model, and that's the way it'll come. It'll come very quickly. We'll come up with a hybrid model, and then how far is the pendulum going to swing in terms of the model? Are the politics of the office going to drive people back into the office, or are we going to be able to have the freedom? The good news is we're really efficient by doing this. I don't know about you, Cesar, but I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I'm doing 2 or 3 times as much work as I did before because I don't have the downtime from travel and halfway around the world.
Yeah. And the office layout also it will change because I believe that we will have people commuting to the office and maybe working in the office for 1 or 2 days, a week. So I think that we will need more space, not for having your own desk. We will have spaces when people can get together. People of meeting room with 2 people capacity. 4 or 5 big, and we don't need those cubicles where you have to stay and sit for hours by yourself alone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people are going to want to have. There is something said to be being around other people. It really, having that human touch around is important.
Yeah,
But you're right. We're going to change. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have offices, like transient offices you'll have in different cities. And as people come in and out, they come in and out. But, for the most part, work out of their houses, at least from my standpoint, the smart companies. But it's an interesting time. It's beautiful. I'm seeing more startups, Cesar, than I've ever seen in my life. So the one good thing about this pandemic is people work together because they were bored or wanted to create something, and they're doing it. So it's an incredible time. Well, listen, we're coming to the top of the hour. Your closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Well, again, like you are saying, yeah, we are living in incredible times. Being able to work from anywhere and enjoy life, at the same time. So my closing thoughts it will be, if you are young and you would like to, you don't know what to do, pay. I think if you can work in technology, you have a great career. It will be a lot of work to be done in the future. So just make sure that you can connect with college, university, or if you would like, we have a great training capabilities in the company. So and again, I think that it's great what is happening today. Being able to work from anywhere, and with technology, I think it will have a great future. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how do people get a hold of you?
So I think our website, makingsense.com, or if you would like to connect with me, just look up on my LinkedIn profile, Cesar Donofrio. I think that those are the best 2 ways. Sure.
Yeah,
Happy to connect and to help people.
thank you. I want to thank you very much for joining my show today. And I'd like to thank the audience and my entire team, Zhenya, Derek, Nick, and my entire GSD team for making this show possible. Stay tuned for next Tuesday for another edition of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. I'm your host, Gary Fowler. Stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay safe. Until next week, see you. Have a great weekend and keep smiling.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Cesar.
you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much.